of the year. And we give it to 5 elected officials who are using their positions to improve the lives of young people in their country. And we had an immensely illustrious judging panel for this award. Please welcome, from South Africa, Provincial Campaigns Director for KwaZulu-Natal, Mbali Ntuli. Hello.
One of those.
Next up, we have one of the youngest members of the French National Assembly, Hervé Berville. Iceland's Minister for Tourism, Industries and Innovation and the Minister of Justice, Thordís Gylfadóttir. The former Lord Mayor of Sheffield and MEP for Yorkshire and the Humber, Majid Majid. And now a video message from Juan Guaido, the President of the National Assembly of Venezuela, who cannot be with us today. If we can roll that video.
Hello everyone. It is a great honor for us to be part of this prestigious forum, filled by bright young minds and valuable people through this little message in which we want to thank the recognition you give us today. From my early...
The courage of these people overwhelms me. Our councillor for this session was himself first elected to public office when he was just 21 years old. So what's going on here? And went on to become the Prime Minister of the UK from 1990 to 97. Oh, and how we miss him. He has since made considerable contributions to civil society around the world, including being the patron of the Mercy Ships, Support for Africa 2000, Presidency of Asthma UK and Prostate Cancer UK, Sight Savers, and wonderfully British Gymnastics. Would you please welcome back for the second time to One Young World, Sir John Major.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Good luck. Well, good evening, everyone. The young men and women we have here are very special. And what I'd like to do first is tell you just a little about the One Young World Politician of the Year Award. It was established last year, and it was established to celebrate the most impressive politicians aged 35 and under. It may also have been, of course, the fact that they couldn't find any impressive politicians over the age of 35. Now, the winners this year were selected, I may say, from many, many thousands of applicants by an expert judging panel, including some very distinguished figures. Mary Robinson, the former President of Ireland, Lindy Mazabuko, the co-founder of Apolitical Academy, Elia Calderon, an Emmy-winning journalist, Jan-Peter Balkenende, former Prime Minister of the Netherlands, and Mo Ibrahim, chair and founder of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. Now, the 2019 awardees are here on stage, and I offer all of them my warmest congratulations on their success. They are the future of politics. They've infiltrated the old guard, and I'm honoured to be able to present them with their awards in a few moments' time. But first, I think as a special penance for me, they have some questions for me before I award them their awards for what they've done. So if it's the wrong question, no award. So shall we start with the question? So I'm hoping you're not going to ask me about some detail of French internal politics.
After. So, thank you very much. Bonsoir à tous, One Young World. I will infiltrate some French words. In time of Brexit, it's pretty good. As you may know, France has decided to increase its foreign aid budget. As a member of the French National Parliament and a member of the Foreign Affairs Committees, I really supported this increase, and I was working also to modernize this foreign aid policy. As you very well know, it's quite complicated right now to mobilize support to increase foreign aid policies and cooperation partnerships. So my question was, how would you convince a young Brit, a young French, a young Italian, a young South African that foreign aid policy, partnership, cooperation is still useful and meaningful in this time of populism and protect these ideas? Thanks.
Well, that can be difficult, as I have found in my own career. But Hervé, firstly, I looked you up. And I must say to you all, I admire very much what he's been doing in the French Assembly. Protectionism and populism are essentially selfish and self-interested politics. And you are right to oppose them, and I congratulate you for doing so. Now, let me deal with your question. Our world has many wonderful things in it, but in many parts of the world it is still very unfair. And there are huge numbers of people, quite literally many hundreds of millions of people in poor countries, living in ways that people living in richer nations can barely begin to imagine. So never be in doubt that in a civilized society, the rich do have an obligation to help those who are in difficulties. Now, a minority of bigots may never accept this, but the majority, in my experience, can be persuaded. And the best way to persuade them, I have found, is to let the truth of their position play on their emotions. Even the toughest hard nut that you come across will have emotions, and you need to reach them if they disagree with you. Now, the aid you talked about covers a great many issues. It covers education, and it certainly covers health in all its aspects in poor countries. So I think if I was trying to persuade someone, I would ask them three questions. Is it acceptable that there are hundreds of millions of children around the world who receive either no education or only the most basic education, the lack of which will mar their future for the whole of the rest of their lives? Is that right or not? And the answer is, it cannot be right. And then I would ask them, is it acceptable in many parts of the world that babies die within days of being born because of a lack of even the most basic postnatal treatment? It is unacceptable. And then I would ask them a third question. Is it acceptable in our world that there are millions of people who are blind, but who could have their eyesight restored with modern operations that cost on average about $20 each? $20 to restore the sight of someone for the rest of their lives is probably the best bargain you can ever get with your $20. Now, I think people will understand those points. Of course, none of those things are acceptable, and governments should be shamed by you and by everybody else into meeting the United Nations target that every country should devote 0.7% of their GDP to helping people who are less fortunate. Very few do, although I'm very proud to say that my own country does at the moment, and I think that is the way to handle it. Now, I'm going to start with Mbali. But let me tell you something about her. During her political life and in a position as a member of the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government, Mbali has combated gender inequality and sexism in the political field. She's held many positions within the Democratic Alliance, is a role model for good governance in South Africa, and a worthy recipient of this award. So my warmest congratulations, Mbali. Let us find where the award is. Yeah. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Now we're going to have a photograph, and you better hold it. Got it? There we are. Thank you. Congratulations. Let me now turn to Hervé. Aged only 27, my goodness, I wish I could remember that. Aged only 27, Hervé became one of the youngest members of the French National Assembly. He's spoken in favour of a substantial increase to overseas spending on education for youth in Africa's poorest regions, and speaks out strongly against populism and against discrimination. So many congratulations, Hervé, on this much-deserved award. Well done. Well done, yeah. There we are. That's yours. Hang on to it. Thank you. Now, Tordis. Tordis became the second youngest minister in all of Iceland's history when she accepted the post of Minister for Tourism, Industries and Innovation. She was for a while also Minister of Justice, but I gather is no longer. A new minister has taken that portfolio over. At the time, her second child was only 3 months old, and she's helped accelerate narratives surrounding working mothers in Iceland. As I said, she took on the role of Ministry of Justice for a while as well, and I'm delighted to present Tordis with this very well-deserved award. Thank you. Congratulations. Well done. Now, there we are. Now Majid. Majid, former Lord Mayor of Sheffield, was elected as the first Green Party member of the European Parliament for Yorkshire and the Humber, and has used his platform as a vocal anti-racist environmental campaigner. Majid is a champion of youth-driven activism, and I'm proud to present him with his award as a One Young World Politician of the Year. Many congratulations. Yeah. Well done. Hang on, the camera. Got it? Thank you. Well done. Now, the final recipient is not here. You saw his video, I think, a few moments ago in an interesting change of timing. But the final recipient is Juan Guaido, who's in Venezuela at the moment. And in the aftermath of the disputed elections in January, Juan took on the role of acting president of the National Assembly and has remained adamant on the need to establish a transitional government calling for free and fair elections, where there is every reason to believe they haven't been free and fair in the past. I'm not going to show you a video, you've seen it, but I think in his absence we might congratulate him on his success. And I think that concludes the award, and I think we might congratulate yet again all our award winners. Woo! Well done. Congratulations. And good luck in what you do. Take care. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Are we having a photograph together?
Fantastic.
Come on.
Thank you,
Are you
everyone.
coming to join us?
So now we can talk about national politics.
Let's do that. Yep.
You want a photo?
Yeah, I'll get next to you.